and we were talking about earning goals and earning potential and stuff. And I was talking about how I was making like 10K a month or something like that. And a lot of people who I talk to, they're like, "Oh man, I'm really trying to get there. How did you get that? How did you da 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 da?" And you were like, "Yeah, I want to make like 30 or 40K a month." And I was like, "Damn, this guy doesn't stop." I love it, man. I love it because you broke the and I'm not throwing shade on anybody else who I've talked to if you guys are watching this. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But a lot of people, they were like, "Yeah, how did you get there? How did you do this? How did you do that?" Da, 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 da. And you were like, "Yeah, that's cool, dude, but I want to hit here." Right. Like you're not there yet. So I want to get to that point. Right. And I was like, now I got to put in the work because I know you're right behind me. Right. Especially because I think you were newer to UCM at the time, and
Yep.
I had become like a alumni, and I was kind of letting off the gas a little bit, and I was like, all right, this guy, because you open up to all your networking strategies and all this stuff that you were doing, and I was like, damn, he's outworking me right now. I can't let that happen.
No, that's super, I'm super thankful to hear that, and seeing, how far we've got from that point, because, I still have that much detail, because as I did before, and I actually dropped off with the visualization thing because I got too comfortable. I was
Mhm.
like, all right, so I went from 0 to 5K. I'm the freaking richest, and then you kind of like, stop doing this stuff that got you there. But recently I've been starting to do more visualization ever since I joined UCM, is seeing where everything boils down to.
Yeah.
Like when I'm waking up in the morning at, because I'm sleeping at 4 and waking up at 10, which is, an unusual, count of a schedule. But
Mhm.
whenever I wake up and get out of bed, it's like, shit, I'm able to retire at 35 than, 65 where the normal people do it. I can even retire at 30 if I wanted to. And I have the numbers boiled down. The number that I gave you back then, it was boiled down to, if I work the next 10 years, how much do I need for this exact thing? How does
Mhm.
my bed look like? What type of sheets? Everything. I had everything, mapped out with, what I wanted to get to, my parents, and I asked them, what is it that you want? What's your dream life? Because I want to provide them the dream life. Like, shit, that's what gives me the fire to even like wake up. What's their dream life? What's my number connected to that can make all of this happen? That was the number I gave you.
No, man, and I love it. That's another thing right there. See, bro, you're talking about your parents. I shared my goals at the beginning. We've even got similar motivating factors,
Mm.
right? Like we think the same, we're driven by the same. A lot of our goals are the same. It's crazy, man. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't be doing this with any better person, man. And like
Oh
in terms
shit,
of
you're making
match,
me cry.
but like match between us, man, right? Because I mean, I know that if I'm like, hey, David, here's the schedule for the week, let's work on this, this, and this. I know that you're going to show up to our next meeting with it done, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to have to worry about your work ethic or worry about you doing this or doing that. And I know that you're actually going to show up with more than what we talked about, right? Or,
probably.
or, or vice versa, right? We're going to talk about doing something and go off and do it. And then we're both going to come with 5 more ideas than we even talked about. Right. And that's the main reason why I'm excited to just get this thing off the ground with you, man, and really, really get to building this vision out past the podcast itself. But before we get into that, right, there's one more thing that I did want to cover, man. And
Right.
I guess that really boils down to what our goals are in this industry, right? Not goals with the podcast. We can talk about our deeper
Yeah.
level after this. But in terms of the high ticket sales industry, I mean, I know that your vision has changed a little bit, so I can let you go first, or you can think about your answer and I can go first. I mean, it's up to you there, man, but I'd really love to understand both of our goals just in this industry, podcast aside.
Yeah. I've thought about this so much, and if I, take the lead here with the torch, the number that I gave you before is work in the next decade. But as
Mhm.
I go, I just find that even though, because the most important thing for me when we do talk about retirement and all that stuff is I'm starting to see more of life than I did before.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to enjoy every single moment of life as I just grow up, because now I'm 21 and I'm seeing how much, my parents actually enjoy what they do, right?
Yeah.
At their job. So, really is what I'm striving for that creates both opportunities is having the alternative to retire. It's
Mm.
different from just, hey, I want to retire my parents, from just
Hmm.
giving them the alternative to retire, take a day off, or anything like that. Like it gives more meaning, but they still have their circle that makes them happy. So my goal has shifted a bit, like having that alternative, it doesn't necessarily need to be at the 30-40K mark. Obviously, more money is good money. But as you said, is that connected to anything? No, it's not. I've found other ways to make that happen through, I'm not saying I'm lowering my standard, but I'm just finding more of what is actually meaningful to me.
Of course.
So now it's at the 17-20K mark that provides everything,
Hmm.
feeding my parents, having them, it gives them the opportunity to take days off. And it gives me the freedom to just explore life. Because like I'm not looking to settle down for like the next 7 or even 6 years, or even
Hmm.
get a car or do any of the fancy stuff. Like I just want to explore life, see different cultures,
I feel you, brother.
move around. It's out of my comfort because all my days, and whenever I did move around and I traveled to the headquarters, I was feeling so much discomfort. So like I'm out of my zone. My sales were down, but I was not embracing like the discomfort that I should have. But I always ran it back to I'm not where I want to be. And that was what was affecting my mindset.
Hmm.
And that just bothered me the entire trip. While I should have just enjoyed every single moment of that point. Right. So I just have started to see sales more of a vehicle to get me from one destination to another.
Mm.
So that's really just like my personal vision with high ticket sales. And obviously it goes way beyond that we start incorporating more and more people
Of course. No,
that we will
man.
go later in it.
I love it. I love it, man. You touched on something very, very important there, man. And it's oh man, that was deep, bro. That was deep. I appreciate you sharing that, man. I really do there. Yeah, man. I guess for me, it's crazy, bro, because it's literally like we're the same person. And it's blowing my mind because I'm about to just basically say what you said, but in different words, right?
Yeah.
For me, my ultimate vision in this online sales world is, man, not to only have enough income coming in to where obviously I can do what I said earlier, which is financially provide for my mom and help my dad retire or ease him into retirement as quick as possible, because I don't want him to work till he's like 70 years old, man. But more importantly, like you said, man, I want to be able to know that not only am I damn good at what I do, so like I can just come back to it and make money if I want to, but I want to be able to live that true expat lifestyle, right? Like I can travel to Japan and make 20K a month, right? I can go to Hawaii, right? I can go to, Sweden. I can go
Yep.
to London, bro. Like all these places that I've always wanted to visit as a kid, but I just, it takes money, right? Takes money to do those things. And like you said, man, it's also about being uncomfortable, right? So for me, I've realized that I thrive when I put my back against the wall. I thrive when I am uncomfortable. And I just want to start doing that more, right? I want to start packing up and going places and going here and going there and putting myself in an uncomfortable position where, back against the wall, I'm going to hit new heights, right? And that's mainly my biggest goal for the high ticket sales world, is to see how many times I can evolve over and over and over and over again, right? How many times that I can cocoon and then metamorphosize, right? Just that process over and over and over and over again to see how high I can actually go, right? Because a lot of people say the sky's the limit. You can do anything, right? As long as you actually put in the effort to do it. And, you can go anywhere and you can hit any goals. But, okay, so hang on. Let me go back just a second. Like a cool reframe that I like to say is, you're not where you want to be because of you, but you can be where you want to be because of you, right? So I'm not evolving at the rate that I want to because of me, but I can start evolving at the rate I want to because of me, right? So it really boils down to, for me, I want to see just how many times that I can level up until I hit like not a spot where I'm comfortable, but like a peak where I'm like, damn, I did all that. Now I can retire.
Yeah, dude, you're speaking like the Kung Fu Panda series of him climbing the ladder, and then he's just becoming this sensei himself, right?
Hey man, yeah, it's all about that evolution for me, man. Because I mean, I'm 25. I'm not young. I'm not old, right? I guess I am young according to a lot of people, but I'm not 21. Right. I've got 5 more years till I'm 30, and I want to be retired by I'm 40. So realistically, I got 15 years to rapidly level up and evolve to a point where I can retire. Right. And those numbers look different depending on where I want to retire, whether it's here or like Vietnam or the Philippines. Right. Because you can retire a lot quicker if you retire in one of those less developed along countries. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's my goal there. I mean, is there anything else that you want to share about your goals in the high ticket space before we dive into our last topic, which is really how far we want to build this thing out internally?
Nah, man, I think we shared some really deep stuff. I think I went too deep than I really wanted to, but
Oh man, I love it.
It's sometimes just necessary to, if someone just listen to this and just hears shit, these guys are really striving for, something I want to do, but they're not measuring. Like they're seeing the measuring of, all right, so these are my competition. And if these guys are my competition in the same industry, in the same marketplace, I gotta get to fucking work, right? I gotta work yesterday. So that's the kind of like reaction, but like the goal in high ticket space, and obviously like personally, it's been growing a lot more. Right, I'm working on a couple of things that I haven't shared with you yet, that I'm going to do it like on the personal aspect of it, than just sales and doing all this stuff. But yeah, man, let's move to the next thing. Let's talk about this.
I love it, man. So yeah, the last topic of today, man, for this first intro podcast, episode 1, whatever you want to call it, man, is really what our long-term goals are with this business, right? Because this is podcast, this is phase 1, right? Sales Ramble TV. And there's a couple more phases involved in that. And I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest here. You've done a lot of the vision work in terms of building that out and then running it by me, and figuring out where the input can be and if I like it or not. So I'm gonna let you take this one, bro, because you've been spending a lot of time with a lot of high level people to really, really build this thing out to a level where I think we can really start changing some lives. So the floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the intro for that one. I'm gonna start by saying this, that the first entire thought that sparked the entire thing is, I noticed that a lot of people get almost like feels the pride of themselves achieving something when they're doing it alone. But as we grow up, it doesn't become like an individual sport anymore. Like you're not the younger kid that just got up and started walking by yourself, and then you got a lot of pride for that. But as you grow older, it's a lot more comforting and easy on your mental and physical health to accomplish certain goals as a group. So if we talk about the high ticket space, it's very individualized. It's like me against you, me the top performer, me working better. It's all those kind of like talks, but those talks that goes into our subconscious mind, it's different from how they see it to how we see it consciously. So I thought to myself, all right, so let's shift this game. Where are my homies? Right? I'm having multiple conversations with people I really like talking to, and people I really like and vibe with. Like how can we just bring all of them together. So I created this group, right? And I call it like a family, or there wasn't much going into it. It was, here's a, group chat for friends.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But each of these friends are obsessed with what they do. And one of them is a mock. The three of us are salespeople. There's one guy coming now as a sales guy as well, but he's super obsessed with what he's doing, right? And it didn't like become much to it, but as you network and meet more people, you kind of see from different sides. You have people and you have problems, and it creates these opportunities of, all right, so my friends are looking for what they have. How can we make this like a support system to help everyone? And as I spoke with JD, one of our mentors in a mastermind that we're both in, where we met, he just almost like planted a seed in my mind. What if you can become something bigger in this industry? Not just matching your friends with businesses that need their help, but like, what about service providers? You were in fulfillment. Didn't you want some love and some cozy hugs, right?
Yeah.
So I started that like seed and idea of, all right, so this can be a lot bigger than what I thought. And I have the opportunities and I have the networks and I have the connections to just put all of this together. But here's one thing that everybody knows, but sometimes we can't put it to words. Attention pays, right? Attention pays. So we gotta, be out there. We can't be behind our walls, just connecting people with people, but we gotta get out there.
Yeah.
I have no intention of just, making this so big where we're not agile and lean anymore, and we can't, function at our best, right? Like I have, full transparency to you. I have no problem saying no to people. I have no problem saying no to people if someone wants to. I know, because the community, and we still have to figure things out. The community is just a friends group right now. If someone comes in and say, "Hey, I want an opportunity," and just like a handout for a silver platter, it's definitely gonna be a no.
Yeah, of course.
But you get the point of, we are very keeping a specific culture and principles and steps that we follow that brought us to who we are, and matches them with opportunities that we believe will accelerate them to the next level. That's the entire vision of it. And to add something in with the service providers, right? Because most businesses out there sometimes feels or sees that a sales guy is going to solve all of my problems, right? And that's often not the truth. And we talking to business owners all day, we see it all the times. So us connecting with service providers is just like a segue for us to add more value of them believing I need a sales guy to, or I need a sales guy and I need to fix these problems.
Yeah.
So instead of just providing in sales, let's just provide in operations and marketing that we both are familiar with. And if we can do that and help a business in all angles from that side of perspective of systems and processes and increase sales, who's gonna complain?
It's a win-win on both sides, man. The one thing you said there multiple times is value, right? After meeting with you a few times, seeing our vision, seeing what you've worked on, and to simplify, to bottle everything that we just talked about, like the last 7 minutes, and correct me if I'm wrong here, man, essentially what we want to do is be I don't want to say double-edged, right? But we want to be a full value provider, both sides, right? Business owners and everything else that comes, and essentially be that bridge, right? Allowing people to walk across into a good opportunity, and, essentially taking their hand and walking them across, right? Pairing them up with the right spot for them. And I mean, it's just it's an awesome vision, man. And I'm really excited to really build the internal ins and outs of how we're going to get that done with you, man, and start sharing it more on here. Cause we've got a lot of stuff to work on, but I know with how you and I operate is going to be a lot sooner than later. And you're already starting connections. I'm already starting connections. I got somebody who I'm going to connect you with. You got people you want to connect me with. And then we've got some people who have already been there and done that in terms of building service-based businesses like JD that we can learn a lot from. So I'm really excited for this thing, man. Yeah, I mean, this has been a great podcast, man. We've covered all the topics that I wanted to cover. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about here, man?
Nah, man, I think we covered more than just the topics. I really just vibe with it, enjoyed it. You know, just the freestyling, the rambling. You know, that's what we are all about, right? You know, once
Exactly.
we get so passionate and that fire comes, we, you know, get a little bit too excited and we start to ramble. So,
A
you
little
know,
bit.
be ready for that one. So
Exactly. That's why it's called Sales Ramble TV, right? The number one
right.
thing that I hate about like reality TV or even a lot of podcasts that you look into or that you listen to is everything's very scripted and you can hear it, right? It's like topic to topic to topic. Okay, you're done. Or, it's not, it doesn't come from the heart. And one thing that I want to continue into the future and that we full well plan on doing is bringing general topics and then just kind of freestyling it, right? And obviously, David's the whiz behind the scenes. He's going to edit this thing down so it's not just all rambling, right? But I like that we both came today and spoke from the heart and really opened up who we are as people. And I'm super excited to continue to build this thing out with you, man. And, you know, my journey started a year ago this month. I'm excited to see where you and I are a year from now.
Dude, that's dope. That's a mic drop. Now to end this off, you know, just put a comment down below on whatever topic you feel has been like the most inspiring or deepest or like the best takeaway you've got from this, and we will see if we are able to do more in the future.
Exactly. And any questions you
Any
guys have
questions
for us,
as well.
I'm more than willing to answer any questions you guys have. And I mean, start, engaging with the community. So David,
Right.
it's been a pleasure, man. I'm excited to meet up for the next topic. And yeah, we're
And we
out,
gotta
man.
get a name. We gotta get a name, man.
We got to. We got Sales Ramble TV, which is nice. I like that. But we got to get like a full business name. So
Right.
awesome.
Peace.
Later.
All right, later.